we go on a Friday edition. It is Mr. Irrelevant with you from the Gruber Law Offices, one call That's All studio at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. I'm Alex Strouf hanging out with you. JOSHY DiMaggio here as always. Will Summers is here as well. I don't know if he'll be here for like 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, or for the entire hour. We'll find out. And, of course, the staple of this program, producer Tiny Hands, the one who makes us sound good, look good, feel good, sound good. Hunter Vaughn is back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. How's that for an intro, Hunter? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I guess it makes up for you and Josh ignoring my text message last night. I'm not at all annoyed about it. Was really proud of the work I did on the damn sports show. Wanted to share it with my friends, but clearly we're not actually friends because you guys ignored it.
Gonna be honest, didn't notice it.
I'll be honest, I watched it. And I thought it was good. Hunter and I talked about it earlier. I don't know why he's bringing it up now. He was on the damn sports show, as he is every Thursday. And our buddy Wally Lukaczynski, who joined us a few weeks ago during his bowling bonanza, where he had to hit over 4,000 pins before he could leave a bowling alley in Beaver Dam, is now doing a fast over the course of Lent. So he is only going to drink water, nothing else, and he is only going to eat fish and rice, nothing else, for the next 43 days, I think it is, or 40 days, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah,
it was
something
a little
like
longer
that.
than the actual Lenten period.
Yes, because that's 40 days.
Yes.
And I think it's 43 days like Survivor, I think was the impetus of this.
Something along those lines.
The matter of the fact is, Hunter, Corey, and Wally talked about yesterday how he's a glutton for punishment. Like, Wally loves being embarrassed, which, look, as a man who was recently embarrassed on a giant scale, it's not the most fun thing for your mentals. I'm going to be honest with you, right?
Fair.
Like, when everybody tells you how much you suck, it's not the greatest thing in the world. I'm fine, for the record. I really wasn't offended at all. But Wally did the bowling thing. He's probably still sore from that 2 weeks later. And now is only eating fish, rice, and drinking water, which, to be real honest, I like fish, I like rice, I like water. Sounds awful. Sounds like hell.
There's enough ways to consume, like, you can do sushi. That fits within, like, you could remove the outside layer. Like, there's options here.
There's workarounds.
There's ceviche. That is an option as well.
Sure.
You can get creative enough with enough varieties of fish.
But don't you need, like, vitamin D and vitamin C?
You will see those provided largely within the fish, I would imagine.
I don't know that that's accurate.
I would bet that fish has a lot of vitamins.
I'm sure it has a lot, but I don't think it has enough to like fully sustain a grown human for 40 days.
Well, let's be honest here. Vitamin D deficiency is rampant in everything north of basically the middle of this country. So he'll be all right. Maybe he supplements. What's wrong with that? I take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D every single day.
I mean, I do too, but again, there's just a level of
you guys take vitamins?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Vitamin D, very good for you.
Yep.
Fish oil as well.
Should I start taking vitamins?
I think everybody should be on vitamin D.
You should probably go to the doctor first, get a blood test done. They'll tell you what you're deficient in. Otherwise, you're just going to be paying for expensive pee if you just like take a just random vitamin if you don't actually need
expensive pee.
Your body just sends it out through your kidneys and like you're just going to pee it out.
Most multivitamins are just expensive pee.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. That is an unbelievable sentence.
Taking one look at you, you're vitamin D deficient.
Yeah,
that's fair.
You're pale. Yeah.
I sure am.
Take a look at me. Pale.
Pale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
You will notice a change. It helps with your energy levels. It helps with your sleep rhythm.
Now I must give you credit. You're high energy today.
I'm feeling revved up.
I told Hunter right before you walked in. I said, just a heads up, we got manic JOSHY today.
I don't know if I'm manic. I'm in a good mood. I got a fish boil I'm going to directly after this, starting at 3 p.m. Going to be consuming lots of adult beverages, having some crab legs, some shrimp.
Wow, a little late Mardi Gras celebration with the in-laws, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gotcha.
Going to have some friends out there. Pratik Patel.
Ah.
Eric Name will be there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a bash.
Okay, thanks for the invite.
Well, you got to get in good with the in-laws first. That's the prerequisite.
They're already good with the in-laws?
Oh, those two are... They might like them more than me.
That's not good for you.
It's pretty good.
No.
I say it at the right moment where I don't get hassled if I don't come out. They get hassled if I don't come out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, well, have fun.
I will. You promise? You bet your bomb dollar on that, brother.
You're a strange man. Speaking of strange, a lot of strange stuff going on in the NFL this week. We are, the next time we will talk is Monday. And when we talk on Monday, free agency will be underway. The legal tampering period / negotiation period in the NFL starts 11 a.m. on Monday. Local time, that's Central, 12 p.m. Eastern is when that period opens for NFL teams to legally discuss contracts with free agents and their camps. And we will have deals reported by the time we hit the air on Monday. But in the meantime, disgruntled players requesting trades, teams seeking opportunities to trade those players, players being cut across the league. We talked earlier this week, obviously, about Davante Adams, who was released by the New York Jets and can sign with a team at any point. Now, typically what you see is these players will wait until Sunday or Monday before they make a decision, even if they do have the right to negotiate with teams following their release. You usually won't hear anything till Monday. Now, a guy like Davante Adams, that one I truly don't know what to expect. We could hear something during the show today, or we could not hear anything until Tuesday.
Shefty on Wednesday morning saying he doesn't believe that Davante is the first option for the Packers, nor Davante Adams is his first option the Packers. That makes me get a little more concerned. I think there are a lot of things that have, like Jonathan Allen, that's intriguing. That's probably a guy you could find a use for. The continued disarray of the Cleveland Browns franchise and Myles Garrett seeking an interview with Jimmy Haslam to be told no, preposterous.
Insane.
Wouldn't you treat that as an attempt to mend fences and figure stuff out?
I don't love that. So yeah, Myles Garrett being the bigger person, the guy who has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns, seeking a meeting with owner Jimmy Haslam, who I remind you is also the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks.
And the owner behind drafting Johnny Manziel because, according to him, an unhoused person told him to. The architect behind maybe the worst trade in modern sports history. Deshaun Watson, where they gave him all guaranteed money and gave up a boatload of assets to do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, both sides have their heels completely dug in. The Browns are not putting Myles Garrett on the table. That's why you haven't heard about anything in terms of teams interested, because nobody's picking up the phone in Cleveland. And that includes Jimmy Haslam. When Myles Garrett calls his phone, he's not picking up the phone. So Myles Garrett prepared to sit out, according to the NFL Network, and miss games if the Browns will not trade him. And Jimmy Haslam doesn't even want to talk to him. Won't even open the door to the possibility of trading Myles Garrett. So once again, Cleveland, an absolute disaster, an absolute embarrassment to professional sports. That is one of the newest stories today. Do want to get to the DK Metcalf stuff, which will lead into the Davante Adams stuff, though, because I do have a new opinion.
You've adjusted? You've altered?
I think we might be having a funeral today. I will get to that in just a moment.
No.
DK Metcalf. The price tag is out there. The Seahawks looking for both a first and a third round pick. Teams around the league saying, John Schneider, what the hell are you doing, man? That's too much.
The amount of people, insiders or people in the know that I saw, basically every team they've reached out to has said not happening for that.
Not giving that much, right? Like, hey, we might be interested in the service of DK Metcalf. The service
we'd be willing to pay for it.
But not a first and a third. And the Packers are, by the way, one of three teams mentioned by Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network on WFNNZ in Charlotte, North Carolina this morning. The Packers, the Raiders, and I'm blanking on the third team, the Panthers, are the three teams that are apparently in the DK Metcalf conversation. So, good news for us, Packers fans. It's that time of the offseason. We officially have a Packers are in the conversation tweet. First of the offseason, first of the 2025
I saw that and gave myself a little
fist bump, yeah. Those are coming hot and heavy starting Monday. Because, and this is a joke, and if you're not in the loop on this, I will explain the joke to you. So, for years and years, right, Brian Gutekunst, ever since he's taken over as general manager, he's had some active off seasons, right? Last year, obviously, with Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney is an example. 2019, the Smith brothers, Adrian Amos, etc., is an example of off seasons where he's been active. But other off seasons and trade deadlines in October, where it seems like the Packers could probably go use an upgrade, rather in free agency or at the trade deadline during the season. And we always get a tweet after deals are made that the Packers were in the conversation. It happens all the time.
This bit has gone so far and extended so far that Goody got asked about it directly.
Yes.
And he said, there is some truth to us being in those conversations and, kicking the tire, doing our due diligence. He said also the Packers as a brand name get utilized a lot, even if we are interested or not. So it is sort of the self-fulfilling prophecy of, yeah, we want to be in the conversation. We want to see what it would cost in case it is some price we would be happy to pay. Other times, we're simply not even involved, but agents and people throw us into the mix or other front offices.
Right.
Which is probably why we hear about it so much. Because aside from them just being involved in stuff, there's also, I didn't make a call, but apparently we were in on them.
Apparently we were.
I remember J.J. Watt, famously, the Packers were in the conversation when he was moving.
He went to Arizona then, right? Yeah.
Yep.
But I think we were
Weren't
doing
they tracking
the
his
campaign on
plane?
ESPN Wisconsin. Oh, yeah. There was J.J. Watch was real.
Yep.
Yeah. That would have been the 2021 offseason.
Yeah, got to say, Goody probably made the right move not investing in J.J. Watt at that point in his career.
Probably a good call. And it's too bad because J.J. Watt and his goalie of his soccer team he owns had a bet that if he didn't let up any goals the remainder of the season, he would join the Cincinnati Bengals to replace maybe Trey Hendrickson, who we'll get to in a moment. But ultimately, that only lasted 3 weeks, which not
a lot of weeks.
That's a lot of weeks without allowing a goal. That's impressive, nonetheless. No J.J. Watt return happening here. So the DK Metcalf stuff is interesting to me. And like we talked about at length on Wednesday, if you missed any of that conversation, go find it on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. We posted about a 10-minute recap of Joshy and I conversation on that, or the podcast feed. And we'll talk a little bit more about DK throughout the show today, and if you're in on him. But here's what this tells me, Joshy, and tell me if I'm nuts. The fact that the Packers are in the conversation and have now, it seems, over a week, have been interested in the services and acquiring DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks tells me that Davante Adams is not very high on the priority list for the Green Bay Packers, which leads me to say I'm worried we may have to retire the BBD, the Bring Back Davante campaign.
I want to say one thing clearly first. We are not retiring it until we are forced to. You will bring back Davante from my cold, dead hands, brother.
Yeah.
I think what being involved as in depth as they are with the DK stakes, let's call them the DK trade affairs happening right now. What that tells me is Brian Gutekunst agrees with us, with Josh Jacobs, with Jordan Love about the need for a wide receiver one. They need to get better at that position, and they need to get better fast. Building through the draft doesn't seem like an adequate option. It is certainly something they are going to draft a wide receiver, I would say, with near 100% certainty. But what it tells us is they view there is a need there. Now, you can say it makes you feel more rough about the prospects of Davante, but to me, trading takes two parts. I don't think the Packers are ever going to be on the end of a trade where you go, wow, they paid a lot for that guy. Now, if Davante becomes available for Romeo Doubs and a third, or Dontavian Wicks and a third, you could be like, yeah, that makes sense why you would prefer that option over Davante Adams. He is younger. He is an instant replacement to what you lost in Christian Watson for much of the season in the speed and size. But you might have to pivot. And I think Brian Gutekunst knows that going into this whole ordeal. There has to be more options on the board than DK or bust. I don't view it as that. Do I think that the fact that we've heard the Packers connected to them versus not connected to Davante matters? Yeah, absolutely. But I still think they are almost equally as likely to happen as one another. The hard part is we have no idea what Goody feels about Davante. And we have no idea what he's envisioning DK to be, how long they would like that. There is also the contract aspect of this.
Yeah.
Of where any deal is going to have a pre-agreed upon contract. If DK wants 32 and won't come below that, I don't think the Packers are going to pay DK Metcalf to be a top 7-8 wide receiver in the league.
No, I don't either.
And that might be what he wants. So if that doesn't work, then he's no longer an option, and you have to go to a plan. I think DK's plan A. I don't know if Devontae's plan B, but I know there must be a plan B here.
Yeah.
And it's not just, well, we struck out on DK, we are going to go to the draft.
Yeah, might as well run it back or go approach this in the draft. Now, the thing that is interesting is John Schneider joined a local radio show earlier yesterday. He confirmed the fact that the team is fielding calls for Metcalf, but set a deadline for the Metcalf trade, which is the 2025 NFL draft.
Yep. Makes sense.
Which means this isn't going to get hammered out today.
Yep.
This isn't going to get hammered out tomorrow. It might be a few weeks, which makes you wonder if you are Brian Gutekunst.
Do you sit and wait?
Do you have that long? Because if you don't ultimately end up bringing in DK and something happens, say, like it did with Max Crosby, where Seattle and DK Metcalf come back together, and the owner actually
kumbaya in there.
Yeah, the owner actually agrees to meet with DK Metcalf and says, "Yeah, we can fix this." And they sign him to a contract extension. All of a sudden, you missed free agency, you missed DK, and now you got to hope whoever you draft is an instant impact type player. I don't love that approach, right? So I do worry that the one piece we've all wondered when it comes to Davante Adams, which is Brian Gutekunst open to the reunion? I worry that answer might be more of a no than we were expecting. Because it seems to both of us, right? It seems to all of us. It makes a ton of sense for the Packers to be interested in the services of Davante Adams. He's still got his fastball. Despite the Jets being as bad as they were in 2024 when he joined them around Halloween, he was still very efficient. And when he was in Vegas, he still was one of the best and crispest route runners in the entire...
Crispest.
You like that, NFL? He's still got some tread left on those tires to be an immediate impact top-end receiver beginning today in Green Bay. So that is where we go. It makes so much sense for Green Bay to be interested in him. But what if Goody isn't interested? And the fact that he's making this big of a push, to your point, it is more of a Christian Watson replacement and obviously a more proven commodity, a younger commodity, more of a long-term replacement and fix than maybe we initially expected. But
I don't want to jump the line here, but I think there was a potential material change in interest in DK and potential likelihood of landing him when it was announced that Trey Hendrickson was an option. I think the Packers, those are the two positions we view most likely them to try and trade for, to bring in an instant impact player. Because you can make the case of the guy we've talked about, DJ Reed, or Charvarius Ward, being just the options at cornerback are better than they are than the other two positions. The options of bringing in a corner who's going to be an immediate impact is more likely in free agency than it is at pass rusher or it is at wide receiver. So to me, I think that matters. I think that Trey Hendrickson is likely going to go for a price similar to DK or in the ballpark of DK or even maybe a little cheaper than DK because Trey Hendrickson needs to be paid. He's a little bit older. And you already saw some of the ideas of what it would take floated out there, and everyone's like, yeah, that seems like a pretty decent deal for him.
Yeah, it's not a horrible price tag for a guy like him, but again, that would be a contract extension he's looking for.
So if you think Trey Hendrickson makes a bigger impact on our team in 2025 than DK Metcalf, and it comes at a better price to pay in terms of draft assets, you do that, and then you pivot. And now, isn't Davante option number one at the top of that list? And the interest needs to be mutual for Davante. That's obviously very clear. I think the tea leaves seem to say, I mean, he basically said it himself, he'd be open to a reunion. I think there's dominoes in how they fall here that I think matter. If Trey Hendrickson's the option, I think Davante Adams is immediately someone you can go, I would bet the Packers would be showing some interest here. Now, if it's DK Metcalf, you got to pivot. Davante's out. Trey Hendrickson's out. And then you're starting to look around, well, how are we going to get better at the pass rush?
Do you guys think with the way, and I'm trying to get inside Goody's head a little bit here, we know that he values draft picks the way that as highly as he does. Do you think this is also going to be a situation where he cares more about the long-term addition with DK than what he can get for Devontae? So it isn't as much of a like, oh, they don't think Devontae has it or anything like that. They would just rather try and have a long-term solution instead of giving up anything or paying anything for a shorter-term option, and that's all this really is. And we're just kind of overthinking it.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think it certainly works into it. I think you're spot on with it. It's just, how much are you willing to give up? This is what it ultimately boils down to. Because to your point, Brian Gutekunst is a guy who said just 2 weeks ago, yeah, I'd like some more draft picks, right? He only has 7 or 8 as it stands right now. He wants to be in double digits always, even though he doesn't really have roster room for a lot of additions.
I'm starting to think that means trade down in round 1. Because the news is pick 20 through 60 are pretty much all the same. And you would hope at 23 there would be somebody on someone's board below you or who has already picked that they view as a true first-round asset.
Yeah.
And that's the way you would play it, and you could get a ransom of picks for a team.
Here's the thing. That's what worries me, is Goody has hit on that method before, a la Jair Alexander. Mm-hmm. He's also missed on that approach before.
Yeah.
Right? Look at the Darnell Savages of the world.
I think it's pretty clear Goody has determined he is going. He has a healthy ego, as anyone does in a professional aspect. But I think he knows that he isn't some preordained mastermind of picking prospects, and he knows more chances means more good fortune. And I don't think he's afraid of letting a guy slip that he might. You know, you all fall in love with guys in the draft, and you make them a prospect that is way better than they could ever achieve. But what he's doing is, wouldn't it make sense? We trade our 3rd round pick, land Trey Hendrickson or DK Metcalf. In the 1st round, we trade back, and now we have early 2nd. We have our 2nd, and we took that team's 3rd or their 4th or whatever it would be to get out of that. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? And then you even have more flexibility. If you have multiple picks in multiple rounds, you can move them around. Like, Goody is going to trade back in this draft probably more than twice.
That's what he does, unfortunately.
And and you say unfortunately, but that's what good GMs do. The good ones are the ones trading back most often.
Man.
Because people overpay for those assets when it is the draft.
We are to the point of the offseason where my head is beginning to hurt.
I'm cooking.
Oh, I know. You love this. You love this. Mental gymnastics are tough for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that about me.
Am I getting a little too, you have to be like, you have to think moves ahead and you have to piece things together?
Too chess-like, right? And I'm not a chess guy. I'm not thinking, when I play chess, I'm not thinking about the move I'm going to make in 3 turns.
You're more of a tiddlywinks guy.
I don't even know what that is, but you're probably right.
Can we also talk about if he trades out of the 1st round this year, how upset we're going to be? Because, going up to Green Bay, draft is in your house, and you don't even pick on the premier night of the draft.
He will get booed.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they come out, if Goodell comes out at pick 23,
there's been a trade.
The boo birds will be out even louder than when Roger Goodell gets introduced before the 1st pick. Right? Every year he gets booed. It's a tradition.
Yeah.
Although I think everybody kind of virtually cheered him during 2020.
Those were industry plants.
The crowd.
Yeah. Industry plants, sympathy claps, however you want to look at it. Sure.
And it was a weird time in the country where there wasn't much happening, so we were happy to see anything happening.
Yes, we were. We were all 12 beers deep when the Packers drafted Jordan Love. I was happy about it too.
I know. I look at your Twitter regularly. You still have it pinned.
Do I?
I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah, I do. April 23rd, 2020. I don't love that the Packers traded up for Jordan Love. I love that they drafted Jordan Love. You got your 3rd great quarterback in a row.
Wow, calling your shot.
He was my
draft crush. You got
so
lucky.
Year. Because that was the year Tom Brady left. Right, he left in the offseason to go to Tampa Bay. And my biggest fear was that Belichick was going to get Jordan Love. And I thought the dynasty was just going to continue.
And if we go back to Jordan years last year in college, bad. A guy a lot of people didn't think should even be worth a 1st round pick.
That is accurate. However, he was.
He was.
And it seems like it's worked out all right.
It is. I don't know if he... I feel good calling it a good pick with what we've seen.
Yep.
Ways to go for great, but in terms of position, the need, and the value of that pick that's taken, it's pretty great.
I would agree.
I was not a fan of it. And it wasn't because of Aaron Rodgers. It was, oh man, I know about this guy's stylings, and I do not feel good about it. His issues? Accuracy. One of them still lingering.
Well, just a bit.
Improving,
but lingering. Yeah, no doubt about that. Joseph on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. Joshy is onto something. Remember when we got Reed, Wicks, and Wooden for one pick, essentially from 2 trade backs? Accurate. Jaden Reed, the 50th overall pick in that draft. Okay, so BBD, we are ruling not dead.
Not dead.
No,
Until
correct.
you pry it from my cold, dead hands.
No funeral yet. Joshy, if BBD does end up dying, if Devontae goes elsewhere, can we like have you wear a suit and lay on the table like you're dead just the entire show?
I'd prefer not to. We could bury...
Is it the suit or the laying on the table part that bothers you more? Okay. Okay.
We could bury a BBD piece of paper somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe replace Ben's time capsule.
Yeah, we do have to dig that up. Yeah.
And we just put the BBD right back in its hole.
I'll drive to Milwaukee to do that.
Yeah. I mean, look,
What about Will? We can make him lay on the table dead.
But Will's a Bears fan, so he doesn't really have anything to do with this.
Yeah, no, we're just torturing the young guy.
I also need a suit.
Do you not own one?
I do not own one.
We can get you one.
We can get you one.
Oh,
Do you own any good piece of
It
clothing?
would be funny
Not
if he
really.
wore one of Hunter or my suits.
Yes.
And it was just draped over him.
Yeah, Will is a smaller fella. Well, what do you weigh?
Like 150, 155.
You weigh less than I do.
A lot of heart, though.
He's got the heart of a 250-pounder, let me tell you that much.
A lot of heart, though.
I'm closing in on
And a
double
big
Will's
brain.
size. This would be great. I'd bring some clothes for Will.
That'd be good luck. Be good luck.
You're probably also, a foot taller than him?
Yeah, how tall are you?
I'm like, well, my driver's license says 5'8", but like,
So 5'6".
5'7".
yeah, I get plus or minus 2 inches on that.
You're 5'6"?
Yeah.
You're not that short.
I got one of those like laser height tests, like the really accurate ones, and said I was 5'6", on the higher end of 5'6".
5'6" and 3/4.
5'6" is some change.
3/4.
So hold on. I don't mean to dive into your life too much, but I do mean to do exactly that. So when you're like on a dating app or something,
Oh, boy.
or when you're like reaching out or meeting
5'9".
girls, whatever. 5'9" it is. Okay.
What are they gonna do? Bring out a tape measure? Like, on a date?
So do you lie on dating apps?
Yes.
Yeah, don't we all?
When's the last time you were on a dating app,
long time.
bozo?
But back in the day...
I didn't lie, but I'm also tall, so like I don't have much to hide.
I didn't lie about my height. I'm so indifferent to... I'm 5'10" and like 3/4.
Yeah, you're like a good average height.
Yeah, so that doesn't bother me.
I guess I never realized how short Will was.
Thanks.
Because he's got a lot of heart.
He carries the stature of a 5'8" man.
I would even go higher. I'd say 6 foot.
6'4", 220.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That's my presence.
Yeah, that's something like that. So, do you try to find women that are believers in what they call short kings?
I mean, I think that's kind of weird when people say that.
So you don't refer to yourself as a short king?
No, I don't really like that terminology. It makes it seem like there's like a
Short prince?
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Well, you are single, so that would make you a prince.
I mean, I guess technically, but I don't like that terminology.
No, because
I'm a bachelor.
the sons of the king are still princes, even if they're married. So you can still be married and be a prince.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a fair point.
Yeah, learn some monarchy once.
yeah,
I knew
watch
that.
The
And
Crown,
I thought
dude.
that in my head, but I was like, I'm not gonna correct myself. I made a
it's
bad.
fine.
No,
made a bad
that's why
joke.
I'm
It didn't
here.
land. It's fine. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what you're in.
Our expert on monarchies.
Indeed. All right,
find
Trey
them
Hendrickson, you
fascinating.
in?
I'm remarkably in. Couldn't be more in.
Okay. Over DK?
I like him more than DK because of the options. There are more options to me at wide receiver than there are at edge rusher.
Well, no, that's the
edge
thing, though.
rushers of this ilk do not come available.
No, and a reminder.
And it takes a stupid team, a quarterback with bleached hair who wants two $30 million wide receivers, demanding, I want my wide receivers, for you to trade a guy who has put up production like Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, he led the league in sacks last year with 18.5. Really good year for him.
I would kill for 18.5 sacks.
The thing you love most about Joe Burrow, I think, is maybe this wasn't even you I was talking to. I might be wrong.
I think it
on
was.
This. Okay. The fact that, so unfortunately, and we'll leave with this.
We are anti-robbing people.
We are anti-robbery.
We're putting it out there.
We are anti-home invasion.
Good stance.
Okay?
Our boy Bobby Portis was affected by the same group that Joe Burrow was.
Yes, but they've been found but not arrested because they're in
That's
Chile.
the case. Yes.
They were in.
Holy smokes!
What?
Oh, jeez. More furries?
You know how we had the furry convention?
Oh yeah, I already looked it up. I have it on a tab in front of me. You want to know what's going on?
Somebody walked by with horns.
Yeah.
Huge horns.
Nuh-uh.
In an outfit that was kudos to them. It was impressive, their cosplay, but a demon with horns just walked by.
Anime Milwaukee is this weekend at the Baird Center.
And that person's carrying a sword.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they sure are. Wow. Oh my God, Joshy in that seat is not going to work.
No, I told you when we were going to make this move, put his back to the window. Did anyone listen to me? Nope.
I like the move of having Josh in studio. It feels like the energy's up.
Yeah.
We're able to bounce off each other a little bit more naturally than when he's sitting back in the control room where Will is right now. But holy smokes, does this guy get distracted?
When was the last time you saw an adult walk through the room?
All right.
Back to Trey Hendrickson. Sacks, 17, 18 and a half.
I guess I won't argue with that. Trey Hendrickson and Devontae seems like the answer.
Did you see? You favorited my tweet. I built out the plan.
Yeah, you did.
The Super Bowl plan.
It was a really good plan. Run it down for us.
Trade for Trey Hendrickson.
Okay.
Sign Devontae Adams. Sign either DJ Reed or Charvarius Ward. Draft Jaden Higgins, the 6'4" wide receiver prospect out of Iowa State.
Now, before you say the next thing on your rundown, I would like to read the next six.
Yep.
Dot, 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 dot.
Win the Super Bowl. Ton. Because what happens there is Trey Hendrickson, I think, and I don't know if you agree with this, I think that level of, let's say, production is a dire need for the Packers, more so even than the wide receiver one. I think getting a guy who could have more sacks than your entire defensive line had himself in a season, I think he also fits because he ages well in today's NFL. He's not a bendy guy. He's not a guy who uses a super amount of speed. He runs through your face, he throws you to the ground, and he sacks the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I think that is, I don't want to draw the comparison. I'm invoking his name for one reason. The reason Reggie White was good for a long time was he was stronger than you and he went through you. And not to compare them as similar players.
I'm not comparing them, but I'll just throw out one similar thing here. Reggie White was 31 years old when he arrived in Green Bay.
Correct. So, this is the case that makes sense. Because he is the type of player that will age more gracefully than a super bendy, wiggly guy.
But what kind of contract do you sign him to then?
You sign him to a top of the market contract.
4-year deal?
Yeah.
Okay. And hope he produces until he's 35.
You get 3 out of him. The fourth year is if he earns it, you can, make, because it would probably be in that situation a lot of unguaranteed money.
Does Rashawn Gary become a lot more effective if he has somebody that
I think
dominant on the opposite side?
There's more horns walking by.
Yes, there is. Oh my God.
I think he does. I think naturally it will draw more attention, and I also think sometimes he's going to chase. Trey Hendrickson would chase people into Rashawn Gary because Rashawn Gary's whole thing is pressures, but never really getting home and landing the sack. He's always making a push.
I think I just had the best idea ever, and it has nothing to do with Trey Hendrickson.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
I believe we need to do a better job of researching what events are going on up the street, number one.
It's at the same expo center. They have to have a calendar.
Yeah,
they have to.
Let me look it up right now. Hang on. You guys keep going. I'll look up the calendar.
But we need to start dressing up Josh. So,
love it.
Today,
Is it funnier if it's you?
Well, I would do it with you. I just no, and I think objectively it's way funnier if it's you. But I would do it with you happily.
We would need a budget, costume budget.
Okay, I'll talk to some people. But like you and horns right now.
Yeah,
So I walked to get lunch and I saw a lot of horns. I saw a sword. I saw some cosplay. And
I'd
nothing
put on
against
a cloak of sorts, a horn.
Have you ever gone to like a Ren fair?
No.
Not your thing.
No.
I've always heard they're fun.
I have two, but I think that's because you just go get drunk and eat food.
Okay. All right. I'm ready, Hunter. Go ahead.
Okay, we need some music for this. Here, we're gonna go college basketball.
What music is the question?
Exactly.
It's March. It's March after all. All right, here we go.
Friday, so we've got the anime convention going on, followed up on Tuesday. So maybe on Monday we see some Archbishop's Catholic dinner. We have the Expeditioners Business Customer Seminar. 2025 Badger Region Volleyball Championship Week.
Oh, Joshy in a volleyball uniform would be good.
Put on some shorts like they wear, some spandex.
Ooh, April 4th, the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Oh, hello.
They'll be cosplayers.
Oh, it gets better. Saturday the 5th, the Oddities and Curiosities 2025.
See, now I'm curious because I don't know what the hell that means.
I believe it is like an expo of the dark, twisted, paranormal type deal.
Yep,
Why do you know
original
this?
artwork, horror, and Halloween-inspired vendors.
I have.
You should dress up as Scream.
Wait,
I've seen this, and it looks interesting in terms of like, wow, that is a thing you could buy and put in your house. Why would you ever do that? I don't know, but it's at least something I'm unfamiliar with.
Friday, April 11th, Milwaukee Tattoo Festival 2025.
Well, Joshy will be there anyway.
As I say,
How many tattoos do you have?
5, 6,
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
5.
Homer.
Yeah.
You've got 2 different ones in your hand.
Grateful Dead, and then I've got a rat drinking a beer on my ankle.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had more than that.
Yeah. This. Yeah.
5. Okay. We should actually just send you to the Milwaukee Tattoo Festival. You want another one?
Sure.
I'd go
Which one
get one.
ya? Yeah, Hunter, how many do you have?
I'm at 5. I'll have 6 at the end of the month. So yeah, I'd
The thing
I'd
I
get
don't
number
like
7.
is paying for them.
Yeah,
That's the
they're
that's the
expensive.
problem. Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of those places do like flash though. You pay $80, you get a flash one. It's usually like American traditional. Get
Which
something
is-
cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Well-
have to mean much. Just looks sick.
Yeah,
Should
that's
I
what
get
the
one?
ship one
Oh
on
yeah.
mine.
I'm the only
I'd get
one on this
matching
panel that
tattoos
doesn't
with
have
you
a tattoo.
guys.
Wow. Irrelevant tattoos.
Yeah.
This seems like a bad idea. We shouldn't walk into this one. Because if we say we're going to do it, we got to do it. And that's one rule we have on the show. If you say you're going to do it, you got to do it.
I'm just saying that if the two of you are in, I am also in, even though I haven't run this past my wife.
Oh, do you need permission?
It isn't permission, but like really the only rule is like nothing with blood, and I can't go on my hands or above like the shirt line, so I can't get a neck one. I really want one on like the top of my hand though, like really badly. So
That would it would be like a sleeve that extends onto the hand, I would assume.
Some people
Yeah.
just have hand tattoos.
yeah,
I didn't know that
like
was a thing. That sounds
probably get
really
like a
painful.
skull
Back
on
of
the
the
top of
palm,
there, or like
My
yeah,
fingers.
yep.
You've got a couple on your fingers, Josh. Do those hurt significantly worse than anything else?
Well, I was under the influence of about 74 beers at the time it was done, so not particular. It didn't
Okay.
feel good.
Okay. Probably bled quite a bit more then.
Well, they're so small.
That's fair.
There's not much to do there.
Will, you got any tattoos?
No.
I don't, but I
Virgin
feel like
skin.
I could be so easily convinced to get one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really care.
You get
honestly.
bear down.
No, not that.
Was that a Pat McAfee impression? Okay, not bad. John says Hunter wants a little mustache on his finger. That's a great idea.
No, that's the like cliche millennial tattoo. I know a number of people who had that in like the early 2010s.
A real tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was
They
like a
still
big
have it.
hipster thing. Well, it like obviously, yeah.
Yeah, it's cheap, and they often they will fade to the point where in a decade it's indecipherable that there was really a tattoo there because your fingers, phalanges move.
Phalanges, indeed.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Saturday, April 26th, the South Milwaukee High School prom.
Oh, well, that
I think
feels...
we'd be arrested.
Yeah, I don't think we could do anything around that one. Unless Joshy wants to wear a dress on Friday.
A gown?
Well, we got Sunday, May 4th, the Wisconsin Bridal and Wedding Expo.
Well, Joshy, you had a point in your life where you need to go tour that?
Not particularly.
I'm not really either.
No.
We're both in happy relationships.
Yep.
But I don't know that we're either at a point.
It's expensive to get married.
They have a lot of volleyball tournaments here. 2025 Moose International Convention, May 22nd.
Moose?
As in like the animal?
Their logo is a moose on a motorcycle. I don't know what it is, but I'm in.
All right, so Josh, I need you to dress up in a moose costume, and we will bring you a motorcycle.
Here's a deal I'll make. If there's a live moose at this expo, I'll go.
You'll go interview it?
Yes.
Like it. All right. Let's get back
Moose
to
very dangerous, surprisingly.
Time
That's
Travelers
true.
Vintage
One of the more
Expo,
names.
Saturday the 24th.
All right, Hunter, that's enough.
Time Travelers. We could go raise some hell at a Time Travelers
Yeah.
expo.
That would be incredible.
Do you think the people there are like, yeah, I'm from 2423?
I would bet there would be people there who claim to have time traveled, some willingly, some unwillingly, and I bet there would be people trying to sell you on how they could make you time travel. Yeah.
I want a time travel.
If it is literally time travel and it's not, they're just using that word for something else, and it's like, oh, we're time traveling back to the 1920s and we're all going to dress up and like have a
Roaring 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I want to actually time
But
travel.
like,
you know what I'd love to
imagine an alien expo if we went to it. That would be sick. UFOs.
Yes.
The
I'm
freaks
so
there?
in.
Well, I've lost complete control of this program.
Friday, baby.
Right? I told
Yep.
you. I told you we had Manic Joshy. He saw horns, and it was all downhill from there. Loving football says Strouf needs to get modern athlete tatted on his chest. I do.
It feels like a mark of shame, a scarlet letter, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've never been seen for anything more than running a 3-cone drill. So that's what you can throw on my gravestone. All right, final thoughts before we get to what we learn to wrap up the show. So DK Metcalf, I don't think anything drops in that deal this weekend. Like I think that gets dragged out a bit. Trey Hendrickson's the one where I'm thinking maybe we could see some movement before Monday.
Yes, because I also think that the Bengals want to actually sign and extend T. Higgins, and it becomes hard to know what you're able to do in free agency if you don't have a trade on the books.
Yeah.
Or a trade in your near future.
What are you offering for Trey Hendrickson?
Third round pick?
You wouldn't go higher?
It depends.
If a second round pick gets it done, I'll do it.
Yeah, you would. They would honestly probably would have to give something back for that because Trey Hendrickson's going to get paid a lot of money.
Right. Yeah.
And he is older, but he has literally the best production in terms of sacks and that style. So, like, there is some give and take here where he's not Myles Garrett, which is best defensive player on the planet.
Yeah.
But he is most productive sack artist over the past, 5 years. So you kind of have to figure it out. And what does he want to sign for? Does he want a 5-year contract that's going to guarantee $120 million? You're probably going to have to come down with some of that price.
Yeah. Their second round pick is pick 54 is the Packers. They only have one pick in each round up until the 7th round this year. And then obviously some compensatory picks still have yet to be announced.
Preston Smith trade too. Great trade.
Yeah, true. Get something more than nothing, right? I mean,
also, did we see Christian Kirk go for a 7th?
He sure did.
Jair's got to be worth a 6, right?
You would think.
Right,
Injury
I'm
risk.
seeing what
I'd give
Christian
a
Kirk
7.
got traded for. But here's the thing. Christian Kirk's contract is worse, and he is an injury-prone guy, right? Like, Jair it's a bad contract given how little he's played.
Right.
But he's got to be worth, you would think, at least a 6. I'm with you, Joshy. Now, the thing that surprises me is we haven't heard anything there because we've heard the rumors that the Packers are shopping Jair and they would like to move on from him and at least get something for him. But we really haven't heard a peep since that announcement Was that earlier this week or last week? So
I mean, that's very Packers also.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because that information usually comes from front offices. So either there's no news to share there or they're working on stuff. I mean, we did see the leak of it seems unlikely, but I mean, Christian Kirk, even for a 7th? They already announced they were cutting him and then said, wait, no, never mind, we're trading him.
Yeah. Which was really strange. I don't know that I've ever seen that one done.
And actually, I kind of like the fit if he's able to play with Houston.
Yeah, I do too. Houston's an interesting team to me, but anyway. Harold Landry, while we've been on the air, was released by the Tennessee Titans, or will be released by the Tennessee Titans. He played 6 years there. Was drafted back in 2018, so 7 years there at Tennessee. He's 28 years old. He's an outside linebacker / edge rusher.
He's a little small, if I remember correctly, about Harold Landry.
They were searching for a trade partner, but was released today. Started all 17 games, last year. Finished with 71 tackles, 9 sacks, 18 pressures, and 4 pass deflections. Did not play in the 2022 season due to injury, but has played a full 6 years and really has been pretty darn healthy. Has played all 17 games each of the last 2 seasons since not playing a snap back in 2022. So I see Love and Football and a couple other people have chimed in that they're interested in Harold Landry's services in Green Bay. It's got to be open to. I just don't know what the price is.
Yeah, and he's more of the 3-4 edge rusher than he is a traditional hand in the dirt type guy. Now, am I sure he can do both? Probably. He's obviously pretty talented. I think you could throw him into the mix. I mean, the fact that they couldn't seek a trade for him tells you kind of where the league is on him. Obviously, the contract factors in there, but like, if you strike out and you don't end up with what you want, fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd prefer like a Chase Young to him, probably.
Yeah.
But not by like an astronomical amount.
Probably. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would bring depth. I don't know if you get
I don't know if he's
better.
a top right. I don't know if he's a top end guy. Right. When we're talking about names like Trey Hendrickson and Myles Garrett, Harold Landry is not quite there. But would it be a move that I could get behind? Sure. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing with edge, more than even a receiver or corner, is just do something, right? You know the meme with the dude in the stick? Just do something. Mm-hmm. Just show me that you know it wasn't good enough. That's all I need to be shown this offseason. It'd be fantastic, over the moon, great. If that results in a Trey Hendrickson, in a Myles Garrett, in prior to Wednesday, a Max Crosby, right? If you can get a top level guy, fantastic. Show me that you're doing something to address the biggest shortcoming of 2024. And same goes on offense at wide receiver. Do something. Now, that one I feel a little bit more strongly about, where you just need to go top end, right? DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, etc. And you don't have a ton of options at that position when it comes to that top end guy. Feels like DK obviously makes a ton of sense from a long-term solution. Feels like Devontae makes a ton of sense from a short-term solution, but still a top-end guy. So that's where I'm at. Just over the course of the next week, do something to show me that you know it wasn't good enough a year ago. You couldn't get after the quarterback defensively. You had too many drops and too much inexperience at wide receiver. Brian Gutekunst, general manager of the Green Bay Packers, just show me that you are aware and that you are capable of doing something.
You're flirting with me having to go Kyle Wallace on you and say you're Gen Z, give me action, give me something. But we agree.
Yeah.
It needs to happen.
Yeah, it does.
Is it any added incentive to you that Trey Hendrickson is pretty much the copy paste of what you would hope LVN would be? And maybe he's not a 18.5 sacks a season guy, but a 10 sack after he learns the position from the guy who is like, and I'm not just doing two white guys, I'm doing strong. They use force more than they use bend and speed, and it's go through you instead of go around you style.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's what you hoped LVN would be.
Rashawn Gary is much the same and probably could benefit as well, seeing as he's never gotten to double-digit sacks in his career either.
He's been close. He's never gotten there, though. Led the team last year with 7.5, but not a very good year. Yeah, whoop-de-doo is right. So we will see on that front. So free agency officially opens Monday. And good news for you is we've got you covered. Joshy, myself, Hunter, will be with you a little bit earlier and a little bit longer than we typically are on Monday. And that is subject to change. If the Packers make a move in the first hour, we will flip on that radio dial. We will do a radio show from 12 to 2. But as it stands right now, we are just going to do commercial-free right here on YouTube, available wherever you get your podcasts. But this would be a really good day to tune in live if you are one of our podcast listeners coming up on Monday. We will be live beginning at 12:15 Central, so about 15 minutes earlier. We're going to go about 15 minutes longer up until 1:45 p.m. Central, maybe even past that, depending on the news of the day. Jason Wilde will join us for a good chunk of it. Jason Wilde, of course, of Wilde and Tausch, weekdays from 9 to noon. You also catch me with him during the football season, Weekly Wilde, every Thursday, which we are going to do a special episode next Thursday of Weekly Wilde, as well, breaking down all the things in free agency. So we are with you a little bit earlier Monday, a little bit longer, and commercial free, which is the big part to remember when it comes to Mr. Irrelevant. We don't take breaks. So we're going to be breaking down everything that goes on in free agency on Monday, beginning at 12:15. So looking forward to that as the NFL new year officially begins, even though it feels like, and maybe I just don't remember what this week typically is, it feels like this week was more active than past years, right? Big names being released, Deebo Samuel getting traded, the Bears trading for multiple offensive linemen. Now, you mentioned Christian Kirk traded to the Texans. You've got all these guys being released off their giant deals and able to go find new homes immediately. Not many have, but it's still very interesting to me. So, it just feels like this week was really active. Oh, boy. You're going to be excited about what Monday looks like because it is going to be a cluster in the best way. Organized chaos here on Mr. Relevant, beginning at 12:15 Central on Monday. All right, you learn something new every day. We learned something new today. It's time now for What We Learned. It's Friday. I'm just going to throw the ball up. Who wants it?
According to Jordan Westberg, I believe he's an infielder for the Baltimore Orioles.
I have no idea where this is going.
He says soft mattresses are no good. He's dealing with back spasms and says that has kept him out of playing because the mattress at his Airbnb was too soft. Now, that begs the question, are you a soft or stiff guy?
It'd be firm.
Stiff. When it comes to mattresses.
I like soft mattresses, but I would like a little firmness. I guess I don't know what he's saying. I'm struggling to understand what that means.
If I were to envision what's happening here, you know those mattresses that have become more popular, the ones you buy online and they come shrink wrapped and they expand. It's probably too cushiony, so it has too much give. It's caused him a back problem. I don't know. I don't know if the ones I dislike the most are stiff mattresses. Not for me. I like it when you get onto a hotel bed and it's basically like sleeping on a cot. Not for me. Yeah, no. I need a little give. Give me like a little memory foam, you know? That's what we're talking about.
Nah.
But also if you're an MLB player, who's going to spring training, you can afford to bring your own mattress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Buy one and ship
Who is this guy?
Jordan Westberg.
Okay, let me look up his salary quick.
I mean, I think he's made like a couple $1 million, but these mattresses cost like $800.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's some single A guy.
Mattresses actually aren't crazy.
No, he's an MLB guy.
Yeah.
He has an average salary of $800,000. I'm trying to find his career.
He can afford a mattress.
Mm-hmm.
He sure can.
Like that,
career earnings $4.6 million.
That to me is you're just a lazy guy.
Yeah.
Because if you're going
cheap
to go
like
stay
Brad
somewhere
Nortman.
for the entirety, if you're going to go
true.
stay somewhere for the entirety of spring training, mattress feels like step one.
Yeah.
You get your flight, and then you go, what am I sleeping on? Because I'm going to be exerting myself strenuously.
Sure am.
And I need to sleep well.
I like it.
Like, do you think Mookie Betts is showing up to spring training and sleeping on any old mattress he finds?
No, I think he is going to make sure he has whatever he wants.
Mookie Betts rents actually my friend's Airbnb when he's in town.
Why do you know this? Your friend told you.
Yeah, duh.
Strouf, come on.
But I feel like that's against Airbnb regulations.
Well, Mookie Betts left stuff behind that made it clear it was Mookie Betts. Just like stuff with his name on it.
Do you care to share?
No, like paperwork and like stuff he had from the team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like not
valuables.
like anything expensive.
Championship rings.
Yeah, it was like
yeah,
team
because he just
gear that
travels
had
with
bets
those
on the sleeve.
Okay.
And he just left it there. 'Cause
Hunter,
he's
you've
the
never
best.
won a championship ring. How would you know whether or not people travel with them?
Come on.
People don't travel with them.
Yeah.
They're worth tens of
Brother,
thousands.
if I won a freaking Super Bowl, I would wear it everywhere I went. I would never take it
but
off.
you're a douche.
That I won't argue with. Hunter, what you got?
March 26th through the 30th at the Wisconsin
here we
Center. Adepticon, a board game convention.
I'm so anti-board game.
Are you?
Oh,
You ever play Catan?
no.
Catan's
And I
great.
won't.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
great.
I don't like things that... What happens is board games most often come out after a few beverages.
That's true.
And when people aren't paying attention and when there's too many rules, I'm out.
Yeah,
So Monopoly Deal, that's about as far as I'll go in terms of games that have rules. It's a card game. It's just like Monopoly, but it's much faster. About 15 minutes per game, rat-a-tat-tat action. Board game's not for me.
John doubts my championship wearing. He says, I don't think you'd wear that fat ring on those skinny little fingers.
John Dowd?
I said, John's doubting me.
Oh, John's doubting you.
Do you know a man by the name of John
I thought
Dowd?
he was referencing the old name that stood in for Barry Bonds in the MLB baseball
Oh,
games.
yeah.
His
Dude
name was
was
John Dowd?
It was
ridiculous.
John
Yeah.
Dowd.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
so Barry Bonds didn't agree to be a part of the NFLPA.
MLB.
What?
MLBPA.
What did I say? NBA?
You said NFL.
Oh, he didn't agree to that, so he wasn't in it. So they just had a guy who they actually had to alter because at first they made it a replica
Right, make him look just like him.
and swing like him and everything, and then they just turned him into like a standard white guy who just had a ton of power and contact and
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. All right, how about this? El Jefe, Public Enemy, also known as former Olympian Ryan Wedding. Did you hear this story?
No.
Ryan Wedding was a parallel giant slalom
Yep.
competitor. He's a snowboarder for Team Canada in the 2002 Olympics. Ryan Wedding is now the 488th person to be placed on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. Ryan Wedding is wanted for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute controlled substances, conspiracy to export cocaine, continuing criminal enterprise, murder in connection with a continuing criminal enterprise and drug crime, attempt to commit murder to a connection with a continuing criminal enterprise and drug crime. The reward for him is $10 million.
Whoa.
He is the first ever former Olympian to appear on the FBI's most wanted list.
I was going to say, because he's certainly not the first Olympian to be a criminal.
No.
Correct.
But, I mean, a $10 million, that's a big boy.
Yeah, the FBI 10 most wanted list.
It feels like this guy was basically running cartel levels amounts of drugs.
That's exactly what was happening.
Good for him.
That is
no,
now I'm looking at the most
literally
wanted
the
list.
opposite of good for him, Josh. Drugs are bad, kids.
But he made a lot of money, and now he is on the FBI's most wanted list and living the rest of his life in hiding or in prison.
The most wanted list is fascinating. A lot of murder.
Well,
Oh, I'm shocked by that.
yeah, of course.
Let me guess. The number two is
Will you learn
drugs.
anything?
No, but I have a good story for you guys. A funny story.
All right, hit me.
If you have time.
Yeah, go for it.
So the other day I was grocery shopping and I went to go.
You told
I told
me this.
Josh earlier. I put my cart back and I went to go walk back to my car and I wasn't really paying attention. And like halfway when I was opening my driver's side door, I realized it wasn't my car and there was a lady in the front seat. And she just started like cussing me out while I opened her car. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I just walked back, put my head down and skirted out of there.
So I actually have done something similar to this.
I have too.
It scared the living
Yeah.
daylights out of me.
I bet it not even close to how much you scared her. What'd
No.
she say to you?
I can't say it on here. She
It's
cussed
YouTube.
me.
You don't say
Did
the
she
full
cuss
word.
at you, or was it more like what the effort? What
At
the
first, it was scared. Like she was just scared cussing, and
Yeah.
then she started cussing at me a little bit. Like, "What the are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like all that.
Wow.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." I closed their door, and then
Did
I
you
just,
say I thought this was my car?
No,
no?
never left
That
your
would have
mouth.
been important.
That would have been an
Yeah,
important
probably
detail
should have
to
been the first
She's
thing.
probably
It wasn't the first thing that came to my head when I was just.
That would have been the
frightened.
first thing I said. Oh my
Oh,
God!
God, I thought this was my car. I'm so sorry.
I probably should have mentioned that looking back on it.
I've gone as far as getting into a car
Yep.
that was open and sitting down in it and going to put the keys in the ignition and looking around and be like, this ain't my car. I was parked next to an identical vehicle to mine that was like slightly different based on like year, but they left it open. I jumped in and I was like,
Not my car.
this ain't me.
Same exact thing.
I
got into a car
Wait, you've
and
also
then
had this happen?
yes, same exact thing happened to me. I was driving my dad's minivan when I was in high school, and I go to get in exact same black minivan, everything, and I sit down and I'm like, why does it smell like someone was smoking in my car? And then there's just a huge pile of just darts in the ashtray, and I was like, not my car. And then like 2 down was the correct vehicle. Yeah, that was terrifying.
Okay,
I was hoping
so-
someone didn't see me.
So Ron in the key chimes in and says, Josh, I've done the exact same thing. Apparently this is very common.
Yeah.
Now my story's a little bit different. So it was December 23rd, which is an annual event for me and my brother where we go to the Bay Park Square Mall in Green Bay and we do
All your Christmas.
all of our Christmas
Yep.
shopping. Right, exactly. Now, this would have been like 2021 or 2022. I was living in Madison, but I was home for the holidays. And my brother had just bought a brand new truck. He'd sent me pictures of it. I knew what it looked like. Now, he was running a little bit late. So I had parked, I got into the mall, and he was meeting me there. And by the Bay Park Square Mall in Green Bay, there's a movie theater. So there's kind of a long like driveway, which then turns in front of a Kohl's. And I saw the truck pulling up, and it's a dude with a beard, whatever. And I just talked to my brother on the phone. He said, yeah, I'm pulling in right now. You can jump in my truck. We'll go park. So I run up to this truck. I jump on, like, the little stand that trucks have.
The running board.
Yes, where you like stand on there and you can get in. So I'm standing on there and pulling open the door. The door is locked because the car is moving. Yeah. And this guy starts yelling at me, what the F are you doing? And I still, at this point, thought it was my brother. I'm like, open the door, open the door. And this guy's yelling, what the F are you doing? And then finally it clicks, that's not my brother. So I jump off the truck. And this guy's driving, mind you. We are moving. So I jump off the truck, and my phone starts ringing. It's my brother. And I go, why didn't you? Maybe I still thought it was him. I don't remember exactly what I said. And it's just him laughing hysterically.
Because he watched you.
4 cars back.
Yeah.
He watched it happen. I was like, I really hope we don't see this dude in the mall. He's gonna beat my ass.
That guy didn't stop and say, what are you doing?
He was yelling at me and like panicking.
Right, but after that happens, you jump off. I think I stop and go, hey, man, are you okay? What's going on? Do you need help?
No, I think he was like, this guy's a crazy person. I need to get away.
I would drive away so fast if you did that to my car.
Yeah, it was not great. Ron in the key. I saw my hat on the dash of the guy's next to me car, except it was my hat on the dash of my car.
Have you? I got called into action. Hero Joshy had to activate yesterday.
Oh,
damsel in distress. A mutual friend of ours had gotten a flat tire.
okay.
If you got a call right now, and I want to poll the rest of the room to change a tire,
Don't ask this.
would you be able to get the car up? Well, get the tire off, the car up, and the new tire donut on.
Absolutely.
I think my answer is yes, but it would take a long time.
You would need some YouTube.
Here's the thing.
Would you know where to jack the car properly?
He'd
there's
destroy
like
the
a bump
body.
in all cars, right? It's right by like the back tire. It's just in front of it, underneath the backseat door, isn't there? Isn't there like a little tread where you can put it?
You're looking for the frame.
Yes.
That would be. Some cars do, I believe, have, but it would be at all 4 tires because the jack you have isn't going to lift the entire car. It is going to pivot it up from the tire you need. So some might have that, but mostly you're just looking for the frame. You don't want to be jacking up on parts of the exterior. Those will fall, or parts of
All
the
right, I'm
mechanics.
starting to realize my answer might be no.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
I got a flat. Will, how would you do?
Yeah, I'd be able to do it. I feel like changing a tire is like the easiest
You've done
thing.
it?
Yeah, with the help of somebody, but I've seen it
Okay.
happen like 3 times. So if I needed to, I
How
could do it.
actively were you participating?
Very.
Okay.
One time the tire was actually rusted on, so I had to beat it with a hammer for like 30 minutes.
I have a mallet in the back of my car because one time I got a flat, it would not come off, and I had to walk to a hardware store, buy a mallet, pound it so it came off, and now I said, well, if that ever happens to me or anyone around me who needs help,
I got a mallet now.
Yep.
I got a flat tire last May. It was actually Mother's Day. So I was in Oshkosh for ACW Wrestling Con, which I go to every year.
Yeah, important place to be.
Indeed,
Yep.
It's a blast every year. Going again this year.
Go to Kelly's
And,
after?
I've been, yes. Usually before, though, is a Kelly stop.
French.
What?
Love
Is there a
French.
place called French Quarter there?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've been there. Anyway.
I've crushed a lot of brewskis there.
So there was have I told you this story?
No.
Okay, we'll end the show on this story. That weekend, so there's a parking garage. I stay in the convention center hotel, right?
Yep.
So there's a big parking garage. That parking garage reported 50 flat tires
Somebody slashing?
over the course of a week. But that news story didn't come out until a week after I stayed there.
Yeah.
But my back
were
left tire was
150?
slashed. Like there was clearly stabs in it.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Rather than just trying to put on because it was Mother's Day, I had to go see my mom, and then I had to get back to Milwaukee. A lot of driving. So I was like, I'm not throwing the donut on. Just went to a Walmart, waited it out for a few hours, had them put a brand new tire on there, called it a day.
You drove the flat to Walmart?
So I brought it to like a Fleet Farm first. I got one of those liquid sealants just to see if it would work. It leaked everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
But I was able to get to a Walmart. Yeah.
Bad to drive on your
I'm aware.
that far.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially knowing where you would have
How
had to
did
go
you-
to get to the Fleet Farm and then over to the Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, how many
That's-
miles did you traverse with a completely flat tire?
Like 2.5.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad. I just kept stopping at Quick Trips and filling it up as much as I could, and then kept driving. But you could hear it.
You guys, you're not a member of, what's the?
AAA?
AAA?
I am not.
I am.
Probably should be.
I am too.
I had them come when I got 2 flat tires at once one time.
How'd you do that?
So you know how there's like that
Sounds like user
the
error.
striped what's user error?
You hit a speed bump
those,
too
like,
fast?
You know those striped crossed out areas when you're going on the exit that like you're not supposed to exit on, but you can if you're late to get into the exit lane?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did that, and there was just I swear you could have buried a body in it. Just a massive pothole, and I went through it, and both tires on the left side of my car were flat.
It's a good way to end the show. We're back with you Monday, 12:15 Monday. We're on a little early because of free agency. Joshy will be here. Jason Wilde will be here. Hunter will be here. I will be here. Can't wait to do it. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Make decent decisions like Joshy, who's enjoying some crab legs tonight.
Hell yeah.
We'll talk to you Monday. Peace.